Hello and welcome to our English news edition. Here are our headlines. Departure of the first group of Djiboutian pilgrims to Mecca. The European Union defies Trump after the return of sanctions against Iran. Hello and welcome again. A first wave of Djiboutian pilgrims in the number of 176 flew this morning from Djibouti International Airport to the city of Medina, Saudi Arabia, to fulfill the fifth pillar of Islam. Until some 1,500 Djiboutians are called to perform this year the pilgrimage to the holy places of Islam, in this case Mecca and Medina. The Ministry of Muslim Affairs and Culture, in collaboration with the airport authorities, has put in place conditions conducive to the comfort of the pilgrims wherever they go in order to fulfill their religious duty. It is with this in mind that a pilgrimage committee was set up for the smooth running of Hajj 2018 from the departure of the pilgrims until their return to Djibouti. The national airline, Air Djibouti, will ensure this year the transfer of Djiboutian pilgrims. And let us note that the Djiboutian pilgrims were previously sensitized on the preparations and the religious rites of the pilgrimage, which is the fifth pillar of Islam. And for his part, the Air Djibouti General Manager Abdurrahman Ali Abdullahi stressed that his company did its best to ensure the arrival of Djiboutian pilgrims to the holy places in time in order to perform the rites of Hajj this year with the close collaboration of the Ministry of Islamic Affairs. He explained that the pilgrims traveled on board the first flight that left the capital this morning toward the city of Medina, while the second and third group will leave tonight. And the Director General took the opportunity to thank the Ministry of Islamic Affairs for its efforts to manage the 2018 Hajj season. In an interview granted to the national television, the acting Minister of Islamic Affairs, Mr. Younis Ali Gedi, expressed his congratulations to the director of the airline, Air Djibouti, for the tireless efforts made to take into account the transportation dates of the Djiboutian pilgrims to the holy places to accomplish their missions in good conditions. The interim minister said that the Department of Islamic Affairs has spared no effort to allow the Djiboutian pilgrims to perform the Hajj this year, 2018, corresponding 1439 Hijrah. He pointed out that the pilgrims will stay in Medina for 2 days to visit the Mosque of the Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, and the historical places of the city before heading to Mecca to devote themselves to the preparation for the Hajj. Faced with the complaints on the theft of electronic devices and valuable goods, the General Directorate of the National Police has set up a new unit dedicated to fight against these offences. The men of this special unit carried out investigations on all the sites identified as points of sales or concealment favored by thugs. And during a large-scale operation, 12 young people were arrested while trying to resell, including mobile phones, laptops, digital cameras and tablets, as well as valuable jewelry, as well as motorcycles and home furniture, and also flat screens. Several operations carried out by this new unit made it possible to recover more than 100 electronic devices stolen by unsavory individuals. The special unit, located in the premises of the Investigation and Judicial Delegation Brigade, is responsible for investigating all the theft of the electronic devices perpetrated in the capital or in the suburbs of Balbala. The elements of this unit work morning and evening in this every day of the week. They call on individuals who try to sell stolen or lost items. Commander Captain Abdurrahman Ahmed Assowi told us. In this summer, many of our compatriots in the capital are hit by the heat waves. Some spend the summer in Ali Sabih because of the proximity, also the favorable climate. Ali Sabih is one of the regions with the mildest climate in the country, located in the south of the country, 90 kilometers from the capital. These tourists bring significant income to Asajok households who rent their homes. It increases the income of the shops of the market. Young people are among these holiday makers, and this is the case of Mr. Guled Ibrahim Kahin and Mr. Abdurrahman Farah Miguel, who came to Ali Sabih for the first time to enjoy the sweet freshness and the good climate of the city. This morning, under the auspices of the State Secretary of Youth and Sports, the Hassan Gulati Stadium hosted a meeting as part of preparations for the launch of 20th edition of Adailu Sports Tournament, organized in partnership with EVA, large ecological NGO of this village in Tijora region. In its 20th edition, like the previous ones, the EVA tournament puts into play 5 football teams, 5 handball, and athletic selection for each of the 5 regions of the interior. The event was attended by the director of the National Institute for Sports Training, Mr. Said Al Hussein, the director of sports, Mr. Abshir Ali Hassan, director Omar Hassan Abdullahi, general secretary of the EVA NGO, Mr. Ahmed Dimbio, and several hundred young people participants in this tournament. Senior officials and sub-directors of the regions, as well as young athletes, drew lots of for the formation of the meeting groups on the sidelines of the regional and communal football league, national sports championships. The EVA tournament as a sport not insignificant in the prospects of the promotion of sport, then the development of youth and community cohesion in order to consolidate the unity and social cohesion. Under the leadership of the State Secretary for Youth and Sports, the Community Development Centers Directorate has this morning organized a neighborhood tourism community centers songs and poetry competition. Dozens of young people participated in the launch of this song and poetry competition, and occasionally spoke with the melodious and captivating songs as well as poems, sometimes lyrical, sometimes epic. The event was attended by Ahmed Ali, the head of the community center, and technical advisor Abdi Asman, chairman of the jury. According to the Chief of Service Ahmed Ali, after selection of the best among the contestants in the community center will be launched an inter-competition. The selection of young Djiboutian footballers under 17 years old called U17 flew yesterday afternoon to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania in order to participate in the Council of Football Federation of East and Central Africa 2018 tournament. The tournament will run from August 17th to August 27th, 2018. Our U17 team will compete in the national teams of Eastern, Central and Southern Africa. And before participating in this 2018 tournament, the young U17 footballers played a friendly match with the Tunisia team, and the Djiboutian Football Federation manages the selection of the young boys and also the girls, and the selection of the U17 who went to Dar es Salaam was accompanied by their coach, Mr. Musa Marwa. Moving on to the international news, in Democratic Republic of Congo, cluster of presumptive Ebola cases were found in North Kivu. More with Hindi Ibrahim.
The Republic of Congo announced today that the preliminary laboratory results indicate a cluster of cases of Ebola virus in North Kivu province. The announcement was issued a little more than a week after the Ministry of Health declared the end of an outbreak in Equatorial province in the far western part of the country, some 2,500 miles from North Kivu. The Ministry of Health of Democratic of Congo informed the WHO that 4 out of 6 samples tested positive for Ebola virus at the Institut National and Surgical in Kinshasa. Further testing is ongoing. Ebola is constantly treated in the DRC, said Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, WHO director.
EU Foreign Policy Chief calls on the firms to defy Trump over Iran. More in this video.
European Union is set on a coalition course with Donald Trump after its foreign policy chief called for European to increase their business dealing with Iran in defense of Bill-Clinton's statement from the U.S. President. As Trump voted to block those trading with Iran from the U.S. market, the European Union stepped up efforts to save the Iran nuclear deal by encouraging its companies to ignore the White House. Federica Mogherini, the European Union's head representative for foreign affairs, said Brazil will not lead to the 2015 agreement with the
left homeless and awaiting urgent aid arrivals in Indonesia. Details.
are awaiting urgent aid on the Indonesian island of Lombok after a powerful earthquake left them homeless and without food, clean water or medical care. Search and rescue efforts continue as many are still feared to be trapped underneath the wreckage. So far, 105 people have died in the disaster, but organizations say that the figure is likely to raise as more days pass and the likelihood of rescue fails.
Evacuations ordered in western Japan as Typhoon Jongdari heads for a Tokyo region.
Pressed for more rain, flooding and landslide Saturday as Typhoon Jongdari, the 12th storm of the year, partly toward the central Tokyo region where it was expected to make landfall overnight and proceeded toward western Japan, coming less than a month after deadly rains and floods wreaked havoc in western Japan. The typhoon is forecast to dam even more rain on much of the region as it approaches from the east. The meteorological agency warned the residents to remain vigilant against further.
After turned away by Italy, migrants finally find dry land in Spain.
The group's ship and two Italian military vessels docked Sunday at the Spanish port of Valencia, ended a week-long ordeal for hundreds of people who were rescued from the European political fight. The Italian Coast Guard vessel Dattilo was the first of the boats in the Coven, carrying 630 migrants to touch land, falling just before 7 a.m. The 274 rescued people on a port disembarked after medical staff made a preliminary inspection.
And that's all for this news. Thank you for joining us on Radio Television of Djibouti and have a good night.